Then here I was looking at the boards. I'm not sure where she's coming in through, just scanning through the crowds. Then I saw a familiar face. Hey guys, this is Elle and Nick. Welcome back to our channel where we are all about
living life,
loving each other,
and sharing good times with you all.
Yes.
In today's episode, we are going to talk about how I went back to Kenya. This is episode what?
6. It's done like this.
6.
Those in my country, they know what this means.
This means
so
6.
This is when Elle flew to Kenya for the first time after how many years?
After 9 years. 9 good years.
Yeah. So this is the exact period that we want to talk about. But before that, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like our videos, and share with your friends when you're done watching this.
Yes, and then if you haven't watched episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, please go watch those after this one, or if you want to go start there, it's fine. If you want to start with this one, it's fine. And welcome to the family. We like to have fun here. We tell stories and we enjoy ourselves. So welcome.
Yeah.
So
where do we start? Do we start like from you coming from the US, or I'm going to pick you?
We can start with the period before I flew in. Yeah, so I think the last time we talked about I bought a ticket and everything, and so the day came when I had to travel, and I was so nervous, so nervous, because I was like, oh my gosh, what is it gonna be like? I had that idea of like, okay, maybe this is just what we think. We had that nice relationship when we were young and everything was perfect, and we loved each other and we felt all the butterflies and everything. But I was like, is it gonna be the same? Are we gonna feel the same things? Are we gonna think the same of each other? Are we gonna still like each other? Are we gonna love each other? Are we gonna have chemistry? I don't know. I didn't know. So I was so nervous, and I went with a very open mind. I knew that we had tried to make the relationship work for a long time, being on and off and trying all these things, and nothing had worked. And so I was like, in my head, I was like, let me go with an open mind. If it works, great. If it does not, I'm just gonna really have a good time in Kenya. I mean, I hadn't been back for like 9 years, so I really missed Kenya, and I was like, okay, either way, I'll have a great time. I'll make use of my trip. So I had 6 weeks between then and my return time, so I was like, it's gonna be linked, it's gonna be a great time. Hopefully we're gonna figure something out, but it's up to God basically, and you and me. So and at this time, what were you feeling?
What exact time? I was at work, and the moment you said you're coming, that's when it actually hit me that you're coming.
Oh, when I told you that I'm actually boarding the flight?
Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe I should just be myself and relax, because there's no need to be all, how do you call it?
All emotional?
Yes.
Were you nervous at all?
Of course I was. 9 years. You feel like you're going to meet someone that you knew when you were young. So it's a long time that has passed in between, and you won't be the same way you would if it was someone who you had seen like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not even sure what I'm going to find, and I'm not sure whether we'll click again, like in person, the same way you talk over the internet, and when you meet this person over a blind date and you feel like it's not the same person, that's the same way you'd feel. Actually, 9 years is even worse, because you're like, maybe you won't like this person at all.
Yeah, you never know.
So they sound very good on phone and everything, but maybe in person,
So I boarded my flight out of Seattle, and I had only one layover, and during that one layover we were not able to talk. And then I boarded my next flight to Kenya, and I arrived in Kenya, and it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I am back in this country that I left 9 years ago. And then my whole family, shout out to all of them, they came to pick me up, and there were so many new babies. Like everyone that was 9 and under, I didn't know. So there were so many kids, and I was not sure who's family and who's not. So I just basically just said hi to everyone, and then I didn't know where he was because I didn't have a way to contact him yet, because you know, when you get there, I didn't have internet or I didn't have service, so I was like, I don't know where he is. So I just went outside.
No. Before you get to that, you've just said that the kids were, some of them you didn't know. Please remember that this is 9 years. So a 9-year-old will come to you. They totally don't know you, but they've just seen you in pictures. Because any of them that was born within the 9-year span, they totally don't know you. You don't know them.
Yeah.
So you see anyone below anyone below 9 years was a totally brand new face.
Yeah. So that's how it was when I met all of them, and so many people came, and it was really, really nice to be received like that, with a lot of love and a lot of like anticipation. Everyone was like, thank you, welcome back. And I was like, oh my gosh, may have shed a tear or two. But yeah, so I said hi to everyone, and then I wasn't sure where you are, and everyone was so excited. They were like, yeah, where are your suitcases? Within a minute, you know, my suitcases had already been taken from me, and all my bags and everything. And everyone was like, yeah, let's go. And I was like, oh, because at this point, like, I hadn't told any of them except for one of my aunties that I was actually going to see you. So nobody really knew, like, if we're gonna see each other, or like nobody really expected you, to be honest. So everyone was like ready to go, and me in my mind, I'm like, where are you, like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't say, no, stop, everyone, like, let's all wait for this guy. There's this guy that I'm hoping that he came, and that, you know, he's here right now. And you know, so everyone was ready to like leave, and I was like, okay, I haven't heard from him, and I don't know where he is, so I guess we're gonna go.
Well, that's where we cut the story, because now I have to bring in my part. So here I was, to be honest, I was from work. Then I was making ugali. I can remember I was making ugali. I just looked at my clock on my phone, and I saw this was the exact time that your flight was actually landing.
Oh my God.
I was still in the house. I knew she has to go through security. The plane has to land. So I have like a cushion of around an hour or so to be there. Then I had my friend over. And by then I had butterflies then.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I think today I should just let you be with family. I'll see you the next day. I was like how am I've never seen your family for all this time. Like, how am I going to appear and like seek your attention at this particular point? I was like, So I was talking to this friend of mine, shout out to you, that's Ellie. So he was telling me, my friend, the lady has just come. You need to receive her. You are the one she has come from. I'm like, wait. I'm sure the whole family is there, so they can have this moment. Then I'll have the moment later on. Wow,
that's a really like.
That's a very open heart. Like,
no, please. Like, someone can't fly all the way to come see you, and you're like, let the other people receive her.
No, you had also come to see the family.
No, right? Yeah, of course. I had come to see family.
And you have a very big family.
I do.
Like, her family, when you tell them, we have this event. My friend, everyone comes. Everyone, every single one.
Show up and show out.
They can even hire for you a bus, just so that it goes around and picks everyone that's supposed to be in the party.
That's just how it is.
I remember my friend convincing me the same way. He's like, my friend, this lady has just flown thousands of miles, and you're saying you're not going to the airport today. You're not serious. Then I just thought about it and I said, okay, well, let me go. I got
Shout out to Ellie, man, because
so I got in the car and I remember we finished cooking the ugali. I didn't even eat it. I had cooked ugali, some very nice chicken, and I think it was sukuma wiki and some spinach. It was so nice. I was ready to eat. Can you imagine? Because I knew you were going to pass Thika Road and go all the way to Thika, and I'll go to Thika and meet you there anyway, in your family house.
No.
Anyway, let us go into the story. So we got into the car. So I looked at my clock. I knew I had to now drive very fast because my time is actually running out and I have to use the bypass. You came in at what time?
I can't remember. I remember it was nighttime, maybe like 8:30 p.m.
Yeah, it wasn't too late. So still the evening traffic in Nairobi was still like all the way into the estates. So Mombasa Road was bad and Outer Ring was bad. And so we decided to use the bypass, my friend. That car was flying. I don't know what happened, but bypass on that day had no traffic. So within around 15 minutes, I was already next to Mombasa Road.
What? You're flying for
real? Because if you've decided to do something else, if my initial plan was to see you the next day, then I said, okay, let me just go. Thanks to my friend. Then I went into the airport, parked the car in the parking bay. If you've been to JKIA, you know there's the parking lot on the left when you get into the airport.
Yeah.
Then here I was looking at the boards. I'm not sure where she's coming in through. So we went first to the side of British Airways. I don't know which. I don't know. It's A1 or A2. I don't know. So in the arrival side, and looking at all those airlines, I didn't see any airline that matched the one that you're coming with, because all we had were these international airlines from Europe, and yours was coming from Middle East. Anyway, so we got into the airport, looked at it, and I'm like, okay, let me just ask someone, because we had wasted around 15 minutes, and I was sure
trying to find it.
I was sure that if we've not been able to see her within 15 minutes, she might have taken off. And like, I know your cousins and your aunt, they won't waste a lot of time in the airport once they find you. So I talked to someone who works at the airport, and they told me to go to the right terminal. So I went to the right terminal, and I was just scrolling around, and I was looking at the monitor, and I saw your flight had just landed. And there were a lot of flights like after it. So I was sure it had landed a long time ago. So here I was just scanning through the crowds. Then I saw a familiar face. I saw your aunt. You see, you guys look alike. The moment I just saw her, I told my friend, oh my gosh. Then he's like, what? And I just told him that I've just seen the aunt, so I'm sure she's just around. Then as I turned my face, I actually saw you. You are hugging, I think, one of your cousins or your aunt. I'm not sure who it was. Then I was like, oh no. So have in mind, I don't think my friend even knew you at that point.
Yeah, we had never met.
He either saw you in a picture or just saw you in a picture. So I was the only one who knew how she looks like. He was like, have you seen her? Then I'm like, yeah, I have. I was just looking at you. I was like, this you guys. 9 years, like the transformation that someone goes through within the period of 9 years is crazy. Like, you look at that person, I was in disbelief. I felt like I was weak. Like, I felt like I had no strength. Because I started actually shaking, because I was like, oh my God, like, it's like seeing someone in pictures so much until a time that when you see them in person, you're in total disbelief. That's what I was in.
Oh my God.
I was like, that's her. Then my friend is like, hey, my friend, see you go hug her. I'm like, wait. Let me just have this moment where I'm just looking at her and she's not even aware.
Yeah.
Because I really need to. Okay, please remember, all these things that are happening, they are not happening in 5 minutes. I'm talking about like
a span
of like 40 seconds. Because it wasn't like a long time before you actually turned and saw me. So I was like, wow, just looking at you. By then I wasn't seeing any of your cousins at this point. I was just looking at you, and I was like, she's actually alive.
What?
She's here in flesh. So I was like, wow. Then I think after that, now you can go on with that story where you had reached, please.
Yeah, so I think I was just like, you know, in the hustle and bustle of like, what are we, like, where are we going? Everyone's like, yeah, go this way. Oh, you're gonna drive in that car, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, this and that. And people are still like excited and coming to say hi and like, hi, and everything. And then I just turned around and I saw him looking at me and I was like, oh my gosh, that's him. Because I was like, in my mind, I had already started to think, okay, I may just have to leave and then we'll just connect, you know, whenever I get to know like where he is and stuff like that, because everyone was ready to leave. And then I turn around and I see him just standing there looking at me, and I'm like, wait a minute, why are you just standing there looking at me? I was like, oh my god. So I ran to him and I gave him a hug, and he was just like so I hugged him so tight, and then he hugged me back, and we were just like, the moment that I hugged him, I was like, oh my god, like this is it, like this is him, really. Like it feels, in that moment it felt like time had not moved. Like it was, I had just given him a hug 9 years ago and I'm giving him another hug.
Please remember
now.
At this point, this hug, the last time we hugged was the time that she was actually leaving. And it was a hug, then you went for the security check and you never came back.
Yeah.
So it was so rushed the last time we hugged and she went away. So this time when she was hugging me, actually you're the one who was hugging me, because me, I was just frozen.
Yeah, it seems as though you were frozen in time, and I hugged you and you hugged me back, but it's like
I was processing.
And me, I was so excited to see him again, and I could not believe that it was actually him that I was hugging. And I was like, oh my gosh, this hug feels so familiar, that this is what I've been waiting for, really. Like he's the same person that I remember. Like I got that feeling right away. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it feels the same. I can't believe like I'm this excited to see you. I got all my butterflies then. Like at that time I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. And from that point on I was like, I hope this works out, because like I can feel it. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my being. I can feel the happiness just, you know, coming from inside of me. So I was like, okay.
The environment was too much for me. So here your aunt, I remember seeing your aunt for the second time since 9 years ago. So I was actually breaking this ice with so many people.
Yeah.
Because the moment she came and hugged me, everything stopped. And everyone was like, who is that?
Yeah.
Because no one had seen me. I had not seen them. And at this point when she hugged me, that's when everyone turned their eyes.
Everyone realized.
They're like, that's Nico.
Yeah, because most of my family members knew him, you know, before I left to the US. So a lot of people knew him, but you know, it had been so long since then, and somewhere along the way they stopped hearing anything about him, and nobody really knew all of these things that had been happening in between all these years except the two of us. And so it was such a huge shock to everyone to see him there, to see me go hug him, and to actually realize, oh my gosh, like what does this mean? Like yeah, so it was a bit confusing for a lot of people, most of the family that was there, and they were like, oh hey, what's up, Nini Niaje? And now everyone's realizing, oh yeah, let's go say hi to Nico. So everyone comes to say hi to him.
I was just saying hi, but I was just frozen. I was like, it was like I had this autopilot running in me that knew, okay, when you greet people, you greet them like this, you do this. So my mind was just like, I can't believe I just hugged you after 9 years.
I know.
It was almost impossible, like imagining that we will ever meet again.
Like it had got to a point where we were like, we're never ever gonna meet again. Like our story is done. That's like, let's just forget about everything. And to be in this moment where you get to actually touch each other and see each other and talk to each other and hear each other talk, like face to face, it was crazy, because you've talked to this person so many times on video, so many times on the phone, so many times you've spoken to them, but like it's been so long, like to actually be in the same location with them. So it was crazy.
Anyway, let us move from the airport. So here we are. We want to move to the next phase. And I'm like, we hadn't talked about this. So she's like, I'm going with you. I'm like, you're going with, where are you going with me? So my friend is like, I remember my friend saying, wewe Kwisha. Actually, he told me on my side, wewe Kwisha. He's like,
let's put it straightforward before people start thinking I'm too crazy. So we were all gonna go to my aunt's place for like a dinner and a welcoming party. My aunt had already put my stuff in her car, and some other cousins had picked this and that for me, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna ride with this car. But then I was like, oh my gosh, like I just saw him now. I need to see him a little bit more before he goes. Because I think you had said you were gonna go back to your house, and I was like, no, let's go to my aunt's place. Let's go eat and something, and then So in my head I was like, if I don't go with him, he's gonna go home, and I wasn't ready for that. So I was like, I'm gonna come with you. And he was like, where are we going? I was like, to my aunt's place. She just said we're going to her place to go eat. So he was like, okay, let's go then. So I told my aunt, yeah, I'm gonna ride with him, and yeah, we'll meet there, just send us the address, which she did, and then we went to the parking lot to go look for the car.
So here we are. First of all, the moment because we were looking for the right terminal, and I hadn't been to the airport so many times, especially picking someone, I was always on the terminal that actually you were dropped off. So, my friend, I'm here. I don't even know where I am in the airport. I don't know which direction is the parking lot is, and it was just next to us, right?
Yeah.
So I moved into the parking lot, and I couldn't remember which level I had left the car. So we started looking for my car. So here we are. So my friend is also not helping, because as we got into the parking lot, he was so excited, and he was like giving me so many stories about how it will be, what if, and I'm like, my friend, let me just park this car, let's go look for them. So we just parked the car in a hurry, locked it, and went to the terminals, because we were not sure which terminal she was coming in through. So we started looking for the car.
Oh my God.
From one floor to the next floor, all those floors look the same. I'm not even sure whether it is the east side, the west side, I'm not even sure. 10 minutes into it, we've not found the car.
Oh my God. Like,
so your aunt is calling, where are you guys? I'm like, I don't know where the car is. So eventually we found the car, but it was like,
please don't rush that story like that, please.
What?
Like we went to like all the levels and went back down again. You remember that?
You have to go back to the route.
To like looking all directions, we couldn't find the car. So
we found the car eventually.
Eventually we found the car.
Yes, please, let's go on. We found the car eventually. We started driving off. Then exit was actually closed. You remember?
Yeah.
There was some construction, the emergency construction. I don't know what's wrong with those guys. They just closed it. They pointed us to another direction, and we had to go through another route at night that I never even knew it. So we took longer to get to your aunt's place.
Yeah. And I think in the middle of us, like, she would call and we would say, yeah, we're coming, we're on our way. And then when we took so long, I think she realized, oh my gosh, what have I done? She just landed And now like she's riding with okay, she knows you, but she didn't really like know you like that to like just have me go off with some.
I'm imagining maybe she thought I had hijacked you.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because like in the middle of the ride there, she called and she had panic and she was like, make sure you get here, like I'll check on you every 5 minutes. And you know, she would call like literally every 2 minutes, are you on your way, are you coming, this is the directions, like, you know, making sure that we get there. Because she was like, if anything happens to you, like what am I gonna tell your mom? So eventually we got there. It wasn't too far.
Yeah, then we are told we have to have a meal. I don't know what. I'm like, tomorrow I'm at work and I think the next day I was actually reporting at work at 7 a.m.
Very early.
So I was like, what is this we are doing here? Because I was like, it was around 9 or 10 or 11. By the time we were done with the dinner, it was past midnight. And we were in another... Something you maybe don't remember or may not know is that my friend was actually going for a shift after an hour. So our plan was, he takes me to the airport. Then after we see you, I come and drop him off at his workplace. Then I go back home. So he was actually supposed to be in shift that he missed. He actually missed his shift.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So he was asking me, my friend, we need to go. I need to go back to work.
Oh.
Then here I am. Your aunt is like, no, just relax. We've not even had the fruit salad.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, what's this?
That's
anyway,
crazy.
she sat some distance away from me after we ate. You remember? You had
While we were eating.
No, not while we were eating. Even while we were eating, you
Yeah,
were...
we were not sitting at the same place. I think we were sitting opposite of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even that meal, I can't remember whether I was full by the time I ate or... Because I was just in disbelief.
Yeah, you kept looking at me like you couldn't believe I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept looking at you. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I actually came here to see you.
Yeah.
And
So,
everyone else.
anyway, that day went on okay that evening. And we actually had to leave. Then I remember we went home. I actually dropped...
You and your friend, right?
Yeah, me and my friend, we went and I had to drop him at his place because now his work time was over. And there was no meaning. I don't know whether I dropped him at home or at work. Those things are just...
You dropped him off.
Yeah, somewhere. I just dropped him off somewhere between his home and his workplace, either of the two. Okay. So then went home and I was like, oh my gosh. I think that night was so short because the next day just came and I had to go back to work and I thought it was a dream.
Because I wasn't there. Yeah, so I stayed at my aunt's place and he left. So we were not together. Yeah. But you just knew you saw me.
Yeah.
So the next day you went to work and then you came back to see me.
If you're in Nairobi, you know, like Mombasa Road is crazy after 5 p.m. on a work day. So I really didn't want to go that way. So I asked her to come to town because coming to town was around 26 minutes. Going to where she was around an hour and a half. So I felt like I'm going to take so much time, like coming all the way to Mombasa Road, and it was easier for her to come. But remember, she has not been in the country for 9 years.
Yeah.
So there was no way that she was going to really understand how to maneuver if she was even coming with an Uber and she was dropped somewhere because of maybe the traffic that is within town. So I decided to drive to where she was. Then after that, we went for a small date and had a good time, caught up, understood what maybe transpired through the years, and we of course we found out like what was different between us.
Yeah, so there was so much to actually talk about in that dinner date. We had to talk about my flight because the day before we didn't even have time to catch up on how my flight was, and there was just so much to go through. There had been 9 years that went by that we had to actually like chambua.
Like sort out.
Yeah. Yeah, so we talked a lot, but of course it wasn't enough. It wasn't all the talking that we needed to do. So yeah, the dinner date was good, catching up, just having time alone. We may have some pictures maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll drop some pictures.
Yeah. So that was a good time, just the two of us. But then the restaurant was closing because we went there so late. So we had to end it. And also I was staying at my aunt's place, so I couldn't be out too late. And you had work the next day too. Oh. So yeah, we couldn't be out too late.
I wasn't even rested, by the way, because the previous night I slept at around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Then this other night, now it was around 11 p.m.
Yeah, so we ended that, and then I think over the next 2 days you came to see me every day after work.
Yeah, she was still staying at her aunt's.
Yeah, so we saw each other like that, and then we decided that there was just too much to go over for the 9 years and make a decision, really, because it was a decision that each of us had to make. Do we want to pursue this relationship? And if we decided that we wanted to do this, the process ahead was not easy, because remember, he was still based in Kenya and I was still based in the US, and we had tried a lot of things before and they hadn't worked. So we knew if we wanted to pursue this, it would take a lot of commitment and everything. So we both had to make the decision.
Yeah, so we had to talk about the process that was coming ahead and choose a process that would be shorter for us and will still work. At the moment that we are talking, personally, I didn't really understand the whole process. So it had to take quite some time for me to understand what process we were getting into. And finally, we decided on one that we will also discuss in this same series. And part of what we are going to discuss the next episode is amongst the things that happened, which is like a major milestone, which is our engagement.
Yes.
So stick around and watch for that series.
Yes.
For our series, because we are going to talk about how I engaged her.
How you proposed. Yeah,
so stick around.
So now, like that, we're done with the all the sad parts. All of these, the next parts will be,
flowery.
Yes, compared to the other parts, but it was still challenging, and how we pushed through everything. So yeah, we're excited to tell the stories.
Yeah, so we're excited to tell these stories and we hope that you will tune in for the next episode. In the meantime, subscribe, like, share.
And like we always say,
see you in the next one.
And in the meantime, share some love, life, and laughter with someone.
Tuliingia YouTube tukabatizwa na fire.
Excited to tell the stories and so